Well, after an already impressive week of rainfall, we're looking to see more as we see a lot of these clouds pushing in from the south with that significant southerly flow about 10 to 15 miles per hour. And despite some of this cloud cover, still keeping us in those mid-80s. But those colder temperatures are definitely on their way, where we're starting to watch these temperatures get down below freezing. Right now, we are looking outside as these clouds continue to push through that maximum heating. 86 here in San Angelo, everybody else in the combination of mid to lower 80s. And we get a good look across the entire Concho Valley. We can see that cold air pushing in from the north, and that's causing a lot of that moisture to be pushed up into the atmosphere, making its way down from the north. It's going to be a pretty dynamic weekend of weather before we start to see some of these cooler temperatures blow in by about Halloween. Right now, we're seeing a good 20-degree difference up there in Sterling City, Robert Lee, San Angelo, 86, and then holding on to those 80s further to the south. But you can see those colder temperatures to the north, but we are seeing a lot of humidity in the air, and that's what's causing us to hold on to some of this heat overnight. We're looking at 70s around kickoff, well into the evening, only down into the 60s. But when we look at that compared to the national average right now, we can see up there in Montana, 19 degrees. A lot of this cooler air areas like Denver and Wyoming only slated to see up into about 50, if not by the rest of this weekend, only up into the 30s. And then we look down to the south, 77. As we continue to push east, we're seeing those warmer temperatures. Now, the upper level pattern is going to pull a lot of this moisture up from the south as we see cooler air push down from the north, and then again up from the south. Going to be pretty interesting. This long wave trough, this is what's going to start pulling that moisture and those colder temperatures into our area by the beginning of next week. We're going to see a lot of strong southerly flow associated with this storm before it starts to push out of the north and cool us way down. Now, those temperatures are set to warm up by the end of next week as we begin November up into those 70s. But we got to get through this plunge of cold air. Again, we're watching this moisture be pulled up from the south, pushed to the east, and then watching that cold air slowly push down. Look at the stark delineation between moisture to the east and then dry cold air to the north. Remember, that's that long wave pattern we're talking about. Now we get a good look at the severe weather outlook, really just targeting areas in Missouri and Illinois. But when we look at the radar, pretty quiet right now, watching those storms develop. Again, seeing that southerly flow push over Texas and then watching those cold air push down from the north. Now when we switch over to radar, you can see that outflow boundary, really kind of just that cold front pushing through the area. But a lot of these pop-up showers, a result of that moisture being pushed up into the atmosphere. As we start to look at kickoff, we're going to start watching these storms kind of pop up later on tonight. Then by Saturday in the middle of the day, we're going to see them clear out. But look at that storm pushing off from the west. It's going to come slamming through again. Remember that cold air being pushed in from the west and from the north. Then by about Sunday night, we're going to watch another series of storms push in from the west, a lot stronger than usual, but staying more to the southeast. Now remember, it's going to be a long weekend of moisture, but by the time the week starts, we can be dropping those temperatures down into those 20s, believe it or not. So by kickoff, holding on to 77 by the time we start. By the time we wrap it up, only holding on to about those 70s still. Then we're going to be dropping down into those 60s, still seeing an opportunity for that late night thunderstorm activity to push through. Then tomorrow, looking at on-off thunderstorm activity all day, and then we're going to finally find our way, making our way into that final week. Halloween right around the corner, those temperatures dropping down into the 50s. Then we're down into the 40s. And keep your eye right there on Halloween. Look, down there to 25. I don't want to alarm anybody, but a lot of those more humid mornings could result in a little bit of icing as we start to make our way into November. Then we're starting to look at those temperatures warm back up into the 70s, while those lows still stay concerningly down and near that freezing mark. Stay tuned. We'll have more up at the break. You're watching KSAN News at 5.